Until his last visitation hours, get your motherfucking ass to sleep. What the fuck he hit me with? He got my head falling off the box. Okay, let's regroup. I thought we came to box. I didn't come to leave in a box. Don't do that. Stop all that grabbing, big fella. Shit, rep, check his glove for tequila. He got me punch drunk. Big fella, after this fight, you going to jail for child abuse and neglect. I need to be factory reset and rebooted. He done knocked all the data out of me. Now, help me now.
Meanwhile, this nigga putting his hands on me.
This behind me. Why ain't nobody tell me I was fighting Martin Lawrence? Big fella, pass this.
Look.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. I ain't never really wanna flex my gifts, but I think it's my time. Let me check my wrist. You can never get my shine. I'ma keep on grinding till I reach the tip top.
And he broke it down like this. Crawford's brilliance. He said, jab with them, use outside angles, make Spence pay for reaching, absorb some pressure, force Spence wide or off balance inside. That's what that last thing. So that's basically what he did to beat him. All right, check this out.
I encourage you to hear what other analysts have to say. Okay, with that in mind, let's see how we did it. All right,
I'm gonna pause this real quick and then I'm gonna go ahead.
Let's take a look at how he does it here. So let's go around the first round here. Your Spence is gonna come out with a jab, and this is pretty common. He'll often jab, like you saw in the Ugas fight, he'll jab to the outside glove. And then what you're gonna see him do is he's gonna move forward here on this one. He's gonna move forward a little bit, right? Kind of throws out the cross there, brings his hand up to see what's gonna happen here. Crawford's gonna allow some pressure here. You see he's giving him different looks, right? Level changing. There's the jab through the middle from Spence. He tries to come back around it, and you'll notice Crawford has his hand up and kind of turns a little bit, which forces, I want you to pay attention to something. It's kind of hard to see, I know.
Now this is important.
This is the glove of Spence. This is the glove of Crawford. Crawford is gonna get his hand up and either constantly parry, whatever, turn to force Spence and his punches to his outside, to his own outside.
To his outside. So he turns, so what happens is once you get on the outside of another guy's shoulders, it changes. Now the hand that's closest to us, like Spence's hand that's closest to us, it's almost like he can't use it anymore. Like, so you see how he's extended like this? And Bud is on the outside of his hand. The hand that's down around the other hand, his right hand, he can't use it, or his left hand, sorry, his left hand, he can't use it because he's actually blocking his own work. So when you parry that hand to the outside like that, now suddenly anything on this side, you have to turn your shoulders to even use this hand at all. So Bud knows if he's on that side, he's safer. This hand over here, he doesn't have to think about as much. Some things have to happen for him to even get touched by that other hand.
His work is extended, which allows him to react quicker.
Absolutely. And the fact that Errol's feet are so wide,
it's going to be awkward as hell trying to turn to hit. Yeah.
He can't easily change direction. Let's continue.
Which then creates a lane for him to come over the top on. You're gonna see this in small and big ways, but it will be consistent through the course of this fight. So
see how wide his feet are? So Bud's, look how narrow Bud's feet are, how close they are together. And he's got crazy balance. So he can do whatever he wants. He can pivot, turn on a dime, and go right over the top of Errol's jab and hit him whenever he wants.
Can't quite get through. Crawford then measures with his own jab, steps in, lands the jab, and then has this looping shot over the right. And what I want you to pay attention to here is It's just small details with Bud Crawford that matter.
And he's going to say, I'm going to stop this because there's also another point that he's not really talking about.
Small details. So for example, he's going to jab. He doesn't reach. He sees Spence pull back. He doesn't bring his hand all the way here.
Yep.
Brings it here.
Yep.
Did you notice that?
Yep.
Because he's not going to throw and then come all the way back. He's going to throw a little bit, come back a little bit. So then when he...
And then he's going to step. So see how he's lifted his foot up as he cocked that jab back? Now he's going to... So his hand hasn't moved. He threw the jab, brought it back halfway. His hand hasn't moved. Now he's going to step and throw the jab again. The hand hasn't moved, but the feet have. So if your feet have moved, your hips can move. So he has another 6 inches, 12 inches of distance that Errol's not understanding that's there.
Wants to go back out. It's a much shorter distance to travel. Besides, it's not the shot he wants to do the damage with. So
look where he is.
Jab.
Throws the first one. He throws the first one. He's not reaching, right? He's not leaned way out. His balance is good. He fires that jab out. It's almost like Errol has to respond to it. So Errol freezes in his tracks. He cocks it back halfway. The hand is still there. So Errol can't do anything yet. And then he steps in.
Bring it back.
Now look where his foot is in relation to Errol's. Now watch.
Halfway, step through.
6 inches further.
That finds the mark. And what you're going to want to see him, when I mentioned you're going to want him to get wide, or they're going to occupy the inside space in the clinch, and they want to force him off balance. Here's another way to force him off balance. Bud moves through jabs. One way that Errol gets out of the way is he kind of leans, and then sometimes he'll lean and dip at the same time. They wanted to force him into this position, keep him there, and then bring a wide
and then come over the top. And see how balanced Crawford is? He's over the top of that front leg. He's not leaning out over the front of it. He's on top of it.
Reminds me a bit of a kendo.
Martial art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen their uniforms? They wear these pants called hakama. They kind of if you see somebody walk with just standing straight up, they look like a long skirt.
Yeah.
But they are pants.
Yeah.
They're designed like that to hide your feet movement from your opponent.
Or your leg. Yeah, what your legs are doing. Yeah, you can't see. Yeah. That's very, very, very similar.
I never understood why boxing was never classified as a martial art. Because there's so much science behind it. I mean, you could if you use these tactics in a real life fight, I mean, you could win.
Actually, I think traditionally as martial arts that we know it, I don't think it is. But I think if you look at the actual definition of martial art, I believe boxing would qualify.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I just think that when you say martial art, everyone always thinks of
Bruce Lee used. Oh yeah.
People be hella racist with it. That's why.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it could only be martial arts if it's Asian. So okay. So see how balanced he is?
shot over the top that he can't see that's much more powerful as a result. Pretty impressive how they had all these details right. So they're forcing him into a defensive position, kind of pinning him there with a shot. And then when he's essentially not in a good position to move, he can only kind of hold his weight here, then coming over the top with a shot that's hard to see right after that. Boy, that's good work. That's really good work.
It was, again, I think a lot of times people think boxing is just, rock'em sock'em robots. And it's like, no. I know that I'm afraid of that hand over there. I want to get away from that hand over there. I want to force you over here. Instead of throwing my jab directly at your face, I'm going to throw it over here so that you slip it and react, so that I put your head over here and then I'm gonna fire my second shot to where your head is gonna be, or I want to move you this way, so I'm gonna intentionally jab that way to get you to move. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just like rock'em sock'em robots. There's a lot more to it than just what I think a lot of people think.
It's chess at 1,000 miles per hour.
Yeah,
people don't realize that.
100%.
Okay, and then you're going to see, of course, he gets, after they stick him with underneath, hook, and he's going to push him away. All right, let's move through. But high guard.
Now this is a really interesting point here.
High guard, there it is. Jab, he's just at the end of range,
right? At the end.
Catches it and then shoots over the top.
Did you see that?
That's a beautiful calculation.
I mean,
beautiful.
Just at the end of range, right? Catches it and then shoots over the top. This was big too.
Beautiful.
Like, so Spence,
now once again, look at he's lunging. He's got, where's his other hand? You can't even see his glove because it's down, right? His other glove is down. He's throwing this punch super wide. You can see it coming from a mile away. What does Crawford do? He sits down on it. So he expects it. He's sitting down. He's expecting to get hit. He knows it's coming. And see, what a lot of people also don't understand is you smother a punch when you get inside of it. It doesn't have the same sting on it when you're not at the end of it. So what he's doing is he's actually he's set himself in about 5 or 6 inches deeper than what Spence really wants him to be. So he's sitting down to where that punch hasn't got all the sting on it that Spence wants it to have. So it's not going to hurt Crawford the way that he thinks that it should. He's smothering it. So he sits down on it. And as soon as he feels contact, and I teach this myself, as soon as you feel contact on that glove, it's already there. You start firing back. So basically your hand gets to your opponent faster than they can get their hand back.
Counter.
Which is right here.
Just lunges in from really kind of far away. The further you step, the further you have to retract. So he steps so far, he doesn't quite have his balance under him. This was a big part, like manipulating and taking advantage of balance issues that Spence was going to have. So they knew it was going to come to the body like this, and he just came over the top and caught him on the.
Now, let me tell you guys how well they knew Spence. You know when he goes to the body like that? When his opponent has his back to the ropes. So not only was Bud knowing when to do that, he was like, okay, I'm going to back myself up to the ropes because I know instinctually what Spence does when he gets a guy up against the ropes. He goes to the body like 90% of the time. So he backed himself to the ropes, sat down on the punch knowing it was there, especially waiting for him to like throw the counter.
Bad footing by Spence too. I mean, you put all
terrible footing.
You put terrible footing.
Terrible footing. So essentially, set the trap.
Now your right hand can't have any type of. You don't have your right hand's not in your arsenal.
No, you can't. You might as well forget it's even there. So like, look where his hand is. One's way down here, other one's way down here. So you can't be mad when your face gets busted up, bro. You're not covering up.
Retreat when he's
in fact, this is crazy. Look at
the body like this, and he just came over the top and caught him on the retreat.
Crawford's hands are closer to Spence's face than Spence's own hands.
When he's defensively vulnerable.
Bang.
So up top, they wanted to jab with him at times. But underneath, you'll see they want to catch once and then make him go. If it turns out with Spence, if you catch when he's coming in, then you have an opportunity if you're Bud Crawford with a narrow window to take advantage. But a lot of guys, they try to catch him coming in, and then he wraps up with him, and then he starts going to work. They wanted to avoid that. Catch, so the first thing is blocked, then make him pay. Now he has to rethink everything, and he gets out of the way.
He never picked up on it. A little
bit later.
Neither did his coach.
Nope.
With him.
Now, Same thing. Now look, okay, so here's what I wanted to touch on. If you go back and look at a bunch of Bud's training videos, I was talking about this the other night. Bomac has this big bag. He used a big pad that he holds up on his shoulder, and Terrence was throwing a jab, thud, 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 standing almost exactly in this position from here, and just like a piston, firing it straight out and make it sounded like gunshots. Sounded like gunshots. He was throwing jabs for like 15 minutes. Throwing jabs for like 15 minutes. Look at the position that he's in. Now, Terrence Crawford has a 2-inch reach advantage, right? Now, again, what we're talking about is the danger zone, right? You extend your arms where your knuckles are. There's a zone where you're in trouble, right? The danger zone. If you're between your feet, okay, say you're between your feet and you lean forward towards the front foot, that danger zone extends out, right? If you lean back, that danger zone comes back to you. Now, it's a matter of where your center is between your feet will determine where the danger zone is. Got me? So if you're not paying attention to where your opponent's feet are, you can walk yourself into the danger zone, not realizing that you are in the danger zone. If you're not aware of where they are, where their feet are, then you're in the danger zone. Crawford kept walking Spence into the danger zone because he would be on his front foot. He would slide his back foot back, but he would still be forward in the front. Spence would do something. Crawford would lean back, but never move his feet. So he moved back. Spence thought that he was retreating, but what he did was he shifted his weight from the front to the back and then walked himself into a punch. So when you see these jabs and it looks like Spence's body like his body's moving forward, but his head gets snapped back, it's because Bud basically put a brick wall there. Spence thinks that he needs to reach to get to him, but Crawford is 6 inches closer than he thought. So his body's moving forward, but his head gets hit because Bud's glove is closer than he thought it was. That's what happened to him all night. He kept losing track.
Talking shit about he's doing something with gloves. Like, no, physics. But look, Bud stood there like a brick wall. He stepped in, pivot through that hand out there. With the other hand, he parried Spence's jab once again to the outside. So he used one side, he parried one to the outside and fired that hand straight out. So he moved his head off center. He parried Spence's hand to the outside, shot his hand straight in, and then held it there. And essentially Spence jumped in.
Everything. And he gets out of the way.
Watch.
Okay, a little bit later.
See how he like lunged in? Bud standing in one place. Bang.
Jab with him. But what do you notice something? This is key to everything. So Bud Crawford uses that left hand to push the outside angle on the jab constantly with Errol Spence. This was huge. This was such a key part of his game. Every part of this was so intentional and so on point. He pushes him over like this.
So he basically ran into, so again, Bud's timing is perfect. So he threw the jab, but there was momentum from his body moving forward that also caused the collision. That's why you see it look like his head snapping back so much, because his body's moving and then his head stops. That's why his face looked like that by the second round. He kept running into Terrence Crawford's fist. It's like, bro, stop running into his fist, please.
Obviously, the jabs connect at the same time there, but we're going to go back to it here, and that's going to be strictly important watching.
Now, look, again, watch where his feet are. So look, this time Crawford steps and throws the jab.
Bud, get away from it. So here's Bud.
See how he's stepping and reaching this time? Okay, watch now. So now Terrence was reaching. Spence is like, how is it that this dude is still touching me again? Because the last jab, Terrence was standing straight up. So he thought he was safe. So Terrence was standing straight up and jabbed him standing directly in front of him. This time he stepped and reached with balance, but he stepped and reached because he brought his feet with him. You see how like Terrence is still over his front foot? His front foot his body is still behind his front foot. If he's got his front foot down and he's reaching over his front foot, that's bad. But if he steps out with it, he still has some balance. And watch what happens when he gets done.
Steps forward. One more time. Let's pay attention here.
So he thinks he's safe after this one, right?
Moves to the outside angle here on this one, on the jab. Now
right?
He doesn't get him.
So you see how Terrence was standing straight up? So he's like, okay, I think that's the distance that I got hit with, right? So now I'm a little bit further away, so he can't get me now.
Bending over off this one, but they connect. He backs up.
He backs up, resets. Terrence shuffles his feet forward.
Bud brings his feet with him, lowers, expecting some kind of thing, but doesn't overreact. Stays nice and tall.
Now
pushes off, jab.
Now he
with
steps
him.
and jab.
That catches him. You never see Errol Spence kind of get his head off the center line when he jabs. He does when he goes to the body, but that's different. So a little bit later,
so he's like, "How did he hit me?"
Spence, move your feet.
Which one of y'all hit me?
See, when Crawford takes a wide stance, he looks more stable than Spence.
What's that?
Even there, I saw Crawford take a wide stance. He looked more stable than when Spence takes his wide stance.
Absolutely,
because Spence's footing is sloppy as hell.
Because he does it with precision, but there's purpose, right? And he knows he can get there, and he comes right back to where he should again. Like if he reaches, but what he's doing is he's confusing Errol because Errol's having a hard time getting his distance right. Bro, this distance thing happened the whole fight. When I say it happened the whole fight, he would attack. Sometimes Terrence would shuffle back. Sometimes he would step back. Sometimes he would take a big step back and lean and then come right back to the front foot again. So it seemed like he was giving up distance. It seemed like he was giving up distance. Errol would come in, but then Terrence, without taking a step, shifted his weight back to the front foot again. And he was like inside of Errol's danger zone. You see what I'm saying? So like Bud had a better idea of like where Errol Spence's danger zone was. So he's either outside of it or inside of it. Errol, unfortunately, either he's reaching or he's not. So there was no gamesmanship there where Terrence subconsciously or consciously, he moves, not just moves his whole body forward to backward, but he moves between his feet. Does that make any sense? And Errol couldn't, the Rubik's Cube was like, there's smoke coming out of his ears. He couldn't figure it out.
Reminded me of yet another martial art, Tai Chi.
Okay.
One of the basic concepts of Tai Chi, whenever you like take a step forward, and the concept is keeping all your weight on your back foot till you move your foot to whatever position, then you shift your weight to the front foot. So there's a lot of similar principles there.
Boxing has a lot of kinetic energy in it.
A lot of it.
People don't realize that.
You're connected to the ground, like you're grounded. That's why Bud punches so hard and people can't figure out why he punches so hard, because he's grounded. And again, to all those Errol Spence fans out there, sorry, Wrench, my bad, bro. So when he went up from 140 to 147 6 years ago, he, of course, was a smaller guy. He had to, of course, lose weight to get down to 140, but he was a smaller guy. 30 years old. Well, he's been at 147 for 5 years. So he's put on that natural 5 or 6 pounds of muscle, 7 pounds of muscle. He constantly works out. He stays in the gym. He doesn't take any time off. He hasn't taken any time off in 20 some odd years. So him at 147, he's like I said, he's got that like cowboy strength, that wiry, like really super gorilla dense muscle. Errol Spence bounces up and down, balloons up to 190, comes down. He's off a 15-month layoff after that accident. He got all tatted up. So you know what happens when you get tatted up, right? You're not allowed to sweat. He got all tatted up, you know, like he took a lot of time off. He drinks, he smokes, he parties. Like Bud Crawford don't do none of that. Like literally doesn't do any of that. He doesn't party. He said his after party, apparently Bud Crawford went to Top Shot with his family after the fight.
Good choice.
He didn't go. He went and played miniature golf and games with his family after winning a fight in Vegas. Shout out to Terrence Crawford, man.
Here comes Bud. Look at just at the end of the punch.
Right at the edge of the punch.
Master of range. And then
look, so this is exactly what I was talking about, right? So he keeps giving up distance, right? And then when Spence thinks that he's retreating, see how he's like leaned back? Spence doesn't realize that his feet haven't moved. His feet haven't moved. He moved his body back, his trunk. So Spence thinks there's more distance than that. Spence moves in to take a shot, and all Crawford does is stay put and sit down. And what happens? He smothers that body shot.
To pay attention to something. He kind of kept his right hand low, in part because the left hand would do the work to carry to create the outside angle.
He's like, wait a minute, why are you right here? Yeah, why are you right here?
That's why, footing is very important because it's going to be like an optical illusion if you're not paying attention.
Yes, this happened to him the whole
night. And you have both your retinas, bruh.
Just got some eye surgery.
Come on now, man.
This way, or he could leave it hanging at times if he needed to like kind of confuse like maybe a punch is coming from here.
And look at Bud, man. Bud is staring at the top of his head like, brother, what is you doing? Like, what are you doing?
But if he kept it here, he could catch everything nice and tight, and then what you're about to see, which is elbow.
See? So he thought he was going to reach for that punch and got smothered. And then
push off the way. Remember, Bud is supposed to be the smaller.
This is when I knew the fight was over right here. Bro, I noticed that when I was watching the fight live, and I was like, oh, because usually it's Spence the one that does that. Spence doesn't let himself get tied up. He'll push you off. He always does. He very rarely lets somebody tie him up. He does it all the time. It's kind of a bully thing. He's like, I'm not going to let you rest, basically. I'm not going to let you rest. I'm not going to whatever. I'm going to keep coming after you. And the idea that Crawford pushed him off like this.
Supposed to be the smaller guy of the two. Does he look like the smaller guy to you? And then he pushes him off.
Like, I've never seen Spence get pushed away like that. And like I said, I watched the last 10 Spence fights over the last couple of weeks, and out of all of them, I've never seen anybody, Kell Brook, any of those guys pushed Spence off like that.
At the end of the second, this is what ultimately I think sends Spence.
Now, once again, look at Crawford when he does reach. Look where his center is. Look like where his trunk is in relation to his feet. When he does reach
to the canvas for the first time.
See where his head is? It's not in front of his foot. It's still back behind his foot.
In his career, jab to the body, retracts, nothing happens.
And then look how he like sucked back to his back foot again. Okay, so he reached with that front foot
canvas for the first time,
and he pushes off the front foot and sucks back to the back foot again.
Jab to the body, retracts, nothing happens.
Boom, balance.
See, now here comes.
Now what he did was, I think he was baiting Errol to do it. So he's like, I'm gonna hit you with a body shot, and then he's gonna try to get his get back. So he's like, okay, I'm going to do it. Watch. He's going to return fire. So it's almost like, again, it's like 5-dimensional chess.
Now look how wide he is. Super far away. So first.
Now, did they look the same when they did that?
Sloppy as hell. All his weight is on his front foot.
Yep.
First of all, he doesn't have the ability to like really have his balance under him properly. But this is the other part too. Outside angle.
And Bud was moving backwards, and then Bud stopped. So once again, he was moving backwards, then he stopped. He accepted this punch. Now all of a sudden, Spence is in the danger zone. He walked himself right into the danger zone, and he's not only in the danger zone, but he's fully extended in the danger zone.
On the jab, that creates a lane. If I can just push you over a little bit, you're here and I'm here. Well, now I have an advantage. So he pushes him over, and then the jab kind of keeps his balance pinned over as he's trying to retract his feet. Mm-hmm. So now he's moving, but he's got his foot in the air at the time this punch lands, right? So keep in mind something here.
Now this is the knockdown. This is
all set up off the outside angle. Now he's facing this way a little bit, just a little bit. That shoulder is anyway. The cross comes over the top. Remember, he's an orthodox fighter by nature. So the right hand is the one that does.
And so he didn't just punch him with that jab or with that cross. He pushed his head down. So he punched him. It wasn't like a shocking punch. It was that just like when he did that hook and like kind of shoved him to the ropes. He punched him, but he held his head down, so he had nowhere to go. Now check this out. Look where Spence's front foot is. It's off the ground. So he's stretched out. He's leaning back on the back foot that's way behind him. He's leaned over and he's trying to get away, but he can't. The front foot is lifted off the ground and he's about to get hit with that left jab.
The punishing, that's actually one of his strongest punches. But I want to point out something again. He's gonna catch, push everything over. Now he's created a lane, keeps him pinned and off balance, pushing him back in a straight line so that can find the mark. I don't think that rocked him in the sense that it hurt him super bad, other than I think it absolutely took him off.
And he was embarrassed. But
no. Watch this.
So again, he parries, pushes his hand to the outside, right? So now his hand's on the outside of Bud's body. So Bud pretty much basically has his back. It's like having your back, like somebody having your back in martial arts.
Pushes everything to the outside. So now he's got a lane, right? He's got a clear lane.
And then look at his eyes. Look at Bud's eyes. He's staring at him the whole time. Like, just like Mayweather.
He's gonna pop him like this as he comes back up. His feet are now in motion. Bang. That punch lands when his feet have never touched the ground. Amazing timing and accuracy from Bud Crawford, and just all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, Cop Killer, I'm sorry, bro. I hope you're listening from the clouds. Sorry we had to boot you up out of here, but
yeah, then they weren't even the same category as a fighter.
Nah,
I mean,
not
at all.
Not even close.
All set up off pushing him to the outside angle. Let's check it out a little later.
Now look, the theme is the same. It's the same the whole time. And now, what did we say before, right? When he gets up against the ropes, what does Errol do? He loads up and he throws body shots.
Look again, pushing his hand to the outside angle. All right. And then just says, whoop, frames off of him so he can get.
So he held his head with one hand and then pushed off to get himself out from underneath. That's essentially when the little kid is swinging at you and you holding his head and he's swinging at you. Man, where's that meme where that kid is being carried by his dad? Oh, Jesus. You know what? Let's take a quick break and let's look at that. Tell me I have it still. Oh, here it is. Hold on. Where is it? Hold on. Did you send it to me? Where you sent it to me? Hold on.
I don't know if I did. Yeah.
Click it again. Hold on. You sent it to me. Hold on. I gotta laugh real quick. gotta laugh a little bit real fast. So salute to everybody in the chat, man. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Look, so many people were still talking about this. I had to give it a little bit of I had to give this a little bit of I had to continue with it a little bit.
Big fella, past visitation hours, take your motherfucking ass to sleep. What the fuck he hit me with? He got my head falling off the box. I thought we came to box. I didn't come to leave in the box. Don't do that. Stop all that grabbing, big fella. Shit, rep for tequila. He got me punch drunk. Big fella, after this fight, you going to jail for child abuse and neglect. I need to be factory reset and rebooted. He done knocked all the data out of me. God, help me now.
Meanwhile, this nigga putting his hands on me.
That's behind me. Somebody tell me I'm fighting Martin Luther. Big fella, pass flowers, take your motherfucking ass to sleep. What the fuck he hit me with? He got my head falling off the bone. Okay, let's regroup. I thought we came to fight. I didn't come to leave in the box. Don't do that. Stop all that grabbing, big fella. Shit, rep, check his gloves for tequila. He got me punch drunk. Big fella, this fight, you going to jail for child abuse and neglect. I need to be factory reset. He done knocked all the data out of me. God, help me now.
Meanwhile, this nigga putting his hands on me.
Behind me. Why ain't nobody tell me I was fighting Martin Luther? Big fella, past visitation hours, take your mother.
Jesus Christ. Oh man, that was so good. That was so good. Thank you for that. Was the best find ever.
Yeah.
That was.
I was at work, man. I was on the floor. It had me on the floor. I was like, yeah, I gotta send this down.
Oh God. Oh my God. It just had me. I had to.
Get off the ropes and do what he needs to do. A little bit later, let's jab with him.
Boom. Okay. Look at the spatial. Terrence is like right on the forehead. He's like right at the very edge.
Right? He's got the 2-inch reach advantage. He used it quite well.
Real quick, what's up, Deacon? Shout out to the Deacon Salty Balls. He said, y'all in here like the barber shop. You know what, man? Look, there was so much positive. There's so many lessons to be learned about what happened this weekend. And it's hot, cool, whatever. Great. I'll talk about it. I wanted to talk about it in my own way. And again, if we talked about kind of the business of boxing earlier in the broadcast, and I just wanted to touch on those things. And like I said, tomorrow we're going to talk about Jack Johnson, kind of like how a lot of this started, because I think that a lot of us will have a different opinion of boxing and the business of boxing, you know, when we dig a little bit. It's not easy for us sometimes to go into the archives and learn some of these things. So if anything, if I can help at least give us a little bit of curiosity, so we go and do a little bit of research on our own, that's all I want. That's all I want, so that we can have a little bit of a better understanding of what's happening around us. But salute to Deacon Salty Balls. What's up? Y'all's in here like a barber shop. That's right. God damn it. Gerald, can we get a salute for Deacon Salty Balls, please? Oh man. Thank you so much, brother. Salute to you. I had to break that up just a little bit, throw that in there.
Well, let's see what happens here. Spence tries.
Once again, he lunging. And again, look where his hands are. One hand is way down here, fully extended.
To go to the body, he's going to catch and come down. And again, he's so far apart in how he opened to attack that he's going to be open for the same combo. Bang, bang.
Dog. I mean, catching a body shot and then hitting him with the same hand is some gangster ass stuff right there. And here's the thing. That's the thing. Arrow never picked up on it. He kept getting hit with it the whole time. Coaches weren't helping either.
I'm like, guys, like his footing is all over the place. You gotta tell him to tighten it up.
Stop reaching. Bring your feet with you. exactly what Terrence did. What did he do? He threw the jab, right? Cocked it halfway, then he stepped and threw the jab a second time. That's how you gain real estate. You move behind your hands. Like, you don't just go diving in all the time.
Same
This
thing.
really does have a vibe.
Say what?
This really does have a vibe of like a 80s martial arts film, like a coming of age story. Like Earl's like the young buck main character. He has potential,
Yeah.
but like he's way too angry.
Yeah.
Powers as a master's just fucking just embarrassing the hell out of him.
Putting the
That's
super
learning
duper
that
beat down on him.
humility.
Yeah. Shout out to TJ Patterson. You're right the whole time. He did it to him the whole time, over and over and over again.
At angle here, right? The jab doesn't go to this side, it actually goes to that side. But nevertheless, the balance issues are a problem. I mean, look how close Bud's gloves are to the head. He's already there.
See?
He already knew what he had to do to pop him, just like that, a little bit later.
So it's like every time he comes in here, he gets hit. And everybody's like, well, Aaron don't look the same. No, he don't look the same. It's every time he throwing punches, he's getting hit.
Here comes the jab.
Because that's a thing that oftentimes people say about Errol Spence. If you watch that Ricky Burns fight, which I recommend anybody that likes boxing should watch, because it's a younger version of Terrence Crawford doing this, essentially the same thing. And the announcers are like, I don't understand why he won't let his hands go. Why won't he let his hands go? And I'm like, because every time he throws a shot, he's getting clipped. I wouldn't be throwing no punches either. But again, the announcers aren't communicating that to the people that are watching. So the people that are watching are thinking the guy's just not throwing punches. It's like, no, every time he throws a punch, he gets clipped.
Catches Bud a little bit. He catches the punch onto the outside, and then
now look,
between punches.
Look, God damn it. See, this is some of the stuff that he missed. Look at his feet. Okay, he did something called a shuffle. So when Terrence punched him to the body, he shuffled back and accepted that punch. But as soon as his feet touched, he stopped. Terrence's Spence is still moving in. So he punched him low. Crawford shuffled back. So basically it's another way of moving your feet. So usually when you're moving backwards, you're going to move your back foot first. And then so you move your back foot back 6 inches. You move your front foot back 6 inches, right? That's how you move. Whatever direction you're moving in, typically you move that foot first. You move forward, you step with your front foot, you bring your back foot. You step into the right, you step to the right, then you bring your other foot. Another way to do it, and a way that's kind of breaking some rules because you're bringing your feet together, you shuffle. Basically, you replace your back foot with you replace your back foot with your front foot, and you shuffle your feet back. Okay. In this clip, Crawford shuffled back, set his feet, and then fired from that position. So he shuffled with the distance. So he accepted the punch that he got to the body, shuffled his feet back, set his feet, and like a rubber band, he snapped back in the middle. So, because of course, Spence throws wide body shots. So he fires right up the middle. That's why, let's see, watch. Watch what he does.
Later.
So see where his feet are? Watch this.
Here comes the jab. Catches Bud a little bit.
He shuffles.
He catches the punch onto the outside.
Sets his feet.
And then
fires that shot
in
up the middle.
between punches, up through the middle, pushes his head up, pow, right hand, just like that.
Mind you, quick as hell. In real time, it's a lot more faster.
A lot faster. There's a drill that I do where you shuffle back, throw a 5, or basically an uppercut in the front, shuffle forward, follow with an uppercut, shuffle back, fire a 5, shuffle forward. There's a drill that I used to do that's exactly like this. So when you're retreating or moving backwards, you shuffle back, set your feet, and throw a shot. And what happens if you have an aggressor moving forward, they walk themselves onto a punch. So all you do, you don't even have to punch hard. You just have to put your hand out there and like stop it right where they're going to be, and they'll walk themselves onto the punch.
That. All right, so here's the thing. If you're Errol Spence, jab gets through.
So once again, where's the danger zone, right? He walks himself. So Crawford is leaning back right now. So he's at the back side of his kind of danger zone. He's between his feet. He shuffles his feet back, but what happens is his feet move, but his upper body doesn't move that much. You see what I'm saying? So he shuffles his feet back.
Cross to the body.
His upper body stays relatively close to where he left it.
He resets his position. So Spence is still kind of chasing a little bit. And as he does, Bud has this inside angle, which he uses to raise the head up. Spence doesn't like what he sees, tries to get out of the way, but it's too late because he eats it on the way back.
Man.
Then you're going to jab with him.
Boom. Look, see how his head got snapped back? Because he was reaching in with his body, he was moving his body in, and Bud hit him with that shotgun jab.
Right? There's that hand up again. Jab to keep him pinned. Right? Let's see, comes to the body.
Look at the balance on that uppercut. See how he digs to the body, shifts his shoulders, rotates his hips. I mean, textbook. What's up, Black in the Day? What's up? Let's see. Sharon Ford said Crossman was standing. Let's see. Black in the Day said that looks like a karate punch. Crawford was standing and Spence was on his toes with no balance when he threw that one. Absolutely. He was catching them all over the place. Salute to all you guys. What's up, MC Recovery? What's going down?
Body under. Let's see this one more time. Jab to the body, changes angles. Spence comes up. He goes to the.
Look at that. Look at the form, bro. Twist, turn, rotate. Fired that right into that uppercut. I think lifted his body up off the ground.
Body. They center
maybe
here.
It's not that one. Maybe it's not that one.
And he's going to reset position.
Now look, swing and a miss. Now again, remember what I was telling you about balance and where that danger zone is?
Yeah.
Look at this. Okay.
Once again.
So look where. So he's got his feet set. He's leaned in, but look where his head is in relation to that front foot. It's behind his front foot. He's got balance, right?
Goes to the body.
Boom. Right? Now, Spence is pushing on him. He feels the pressure.
They center here.
And watch this. He feels what Spence is about to do. Look where Terrence's back foot is.
And he's going.
He sees him loading up that punch. So what does Crawford do? Watch his back foot. He steps his back foot back. So he pushes off the front foot.
Reset position to get out of the way. Look at this, but he's already still balanced.
But it's like he threw a single leg lunge, basically. And look what he did as soon as he did it. He jumped back, faded a punch.
Position to get out of the way. Look at this, but he's already still balanced.
Rubber band,
and then
right back. Oh, I'm
boy,
so glad
Spence did himself a world of favors getting out of the way of that one, but doesn't matter because boom, here comes the right hand.
And guess what else he did? What you just witnessed, he went from southpaw to orthodox without anybody noticing. The way he threw the punch.
And what do you notice, folks? What do you notice? He gets out of the way.
Whoop! Look at that! Look at that! Look! Swing and a miss. Look where Errol Spence's head is. Where is it? All directly over the top of his front foot, and his back foot is off the ground.
Southpaw.
No balance. And then there's nowhere for you to go. Now what happens? Look, he's standing straight up. Straight up. Crawford pushes off that back foot. Ooh, he almost got his head taken off on that one. But then what happens? He's ducked down. He's not covering up.
Left. Takes this forward. Now look, he's an orthodox. He's an orthodox.
Immediately switches.
All he does is pivot, and he's an orthodox.
Just
boom.
Bow. Just changes angles on him. Gets out of the way of the uppercut, which is wide, and he brings his trail leg with him because it was so forcefully thrown. Bud bounces back, throws this because that's what he wants when the guy.
Once again, look at his balance. See where his head is? Look where his foot is. If you freeze every single one of Bud's punches, his legs look like this. Like this is the posture that he has.
guys come up like that. He tries to catch him. It misses, so he just brings his foot forward. Now I'm in orthodox. Bang. Catch you with my right hand. Sitting over the top. I change.
Shout out to Wrench Turner. What's Wrench Turner? All jokes aside, I think that EJ has been on a decline, coupled with the car wreck, Crawford's boxing IQ too much and not in his favor. When bro came out in flip flops, eating a eating a link sandwich, I knew it was over. Damn. Yikes.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I mean, yes, you can make that argument. The only and shout out to Wrench, and he hit us with a 20 spot. So I'm gonna let him live. Thank you, Wrench Turner. I appreciate you. All jokes aside, I think EJ has been on the decline, coupled with the car wreck. I believe Crawford's boxing IQ too much in his favor. You right. When bro came out in flip flops eating a link sandwich, I knew it was over. Damn. Cold blooded. Salute to Wrench Turner. Gerald, can we get Wrench Turner a salute, please, with a little hot sauce on it, please? Thank you, Wrench, dog. I appreciate you. A little hot sauce for that link sandwich. Yeah, I agree. You know, once again, man, I don't know if his this is only in the third round. So him kind of still making these mistakes at this stage of the fight, I'm like, okay, maybe. And that's also after the knockdown. But the fact that like you got into 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, still making the same exact is kind of just, I put that on his coach, to be honest with you, you know, because I don't think he had, because you're right, I don't think he had all his faculties.
Before, they're here, kind of like this together. And then,
I mean, the fact that he saw that coming, he jumped back and landed on one foot and then fired back.
And when Bud changes the angle, he's here. Yeah, he's good. And a little bit later, fourth round. Okay, he's either gonna jab with him.
Okay. So again, the distance, right? Okay.
Yeah, he's good. And a little bit later.
Right here. Okay. Look. Okay. Just look where Bud's trunk is, and then where his trunk is and his feet. And because they don't move at the same time. So
fourth round.
He steps back, right? So you see him lean back. He takes a step back. So again, Spence is going to chase, right? But what he doesn't realize is that Bud has put his foot in the ground and he's coming straight back again. So he keeps moving back a little bit, goading Spence to move in and then firing his own shots.
Okay, he's either gonna jab with him, stay on top of him, right? And so again, look at Spence. Spence steps, gets greeted with a jab. Crawford wastes no time, only retracts it halfway, not all the way, because if I retract it halfway, then I can have quicker access to the target, which he does, and it gets Spence to do that lean that he does to get out of the way, but then Crawford stays on top of.
Now again, look where Errol's head is, look where his back foot is. So he's at the limit of where he can go. He can't go any further back. So he's stuck. He didn't move his feet with them. He just leaned back. So now Bud is stepping in. And what I say, the danger zone. He's leaned back and he's basically pinned down by his own footwork. He can't move.
Of him.
Because he can't move, he can't go anywhere until he moves that back foot. And he's got to lift the front foot off the ground because he's stretched out so far.
Now he pushes back into him, so then the right hand can come right over the left hand, I apologize, can come right over the top as a result. And then he gets away, but just a little bit. Look at him just slightly reset his feet, uppercut, because he's still bent over. And
look at the form, bro. Look at Crawford's form, bro.
Right over the
look at his feet. Look.
Oh, excuse me, the left hand, I apologize, can come right over the top as a result. And then he gets away.
Resets.
But just a little bit. Look at him just slightly.
Now, some would say he loaded up that uppercut. Sure, but look at his other hand. He's framed on Errol's body, so Errol can't throw another punch. So you can load up that uppercut.
Reset his feet.
Right here. Look at the form. He looks like a statue. He looks like a statue.
Because he's still bent over and has got a high guard. And then they switch angles and get.
That was that body shot that lifted him up off the ground. Look.
Uppercut because he's still bent over.
Look right here.
And has got a high guard.
Bang!
And then they switch angles and get away.
You just going hard with that one, man.
That body shot lifted him up off the ground.
I mean,
Luke Thomas.
Spence ain't playing his feet properly, man. You'll end up messing up the cartilage in your damn knees. The way Spence got you dancing.
Yeah, he's all messed up. Luke Thomas, you know what? I agree with you, Blues. I agree. I'm not a huge fan of Luke Thomas, but he does do a very solid assessment of the fight, and he has the I think he has like some of the rights to be able to use some of these clips and tools. So shout out to him, because I'm going to piggyback on his assessment, because there are some things that I noticed that even he didn't break down, or at least he didn't have time to. So we're gonna use it. So, but I'm not a huge fan of Luke Thomas also, but you know, in this particular instance, we're gonna go ahead and be friends. So be friends for this right here. But salute to you.
Jab, right? Spence comes in. Look at Crawford waiting to see what he throws. He does.
Same thing. He doesn't step all the way back. So Spence never can figure out where he is. He's like, is he further away from me?
Jab.
Is he closer? Right? Because Terrence extends for that jab, and then he sucks back to that back puts his weight back on the back foot, but doesn't move his feet. So he's not further away. Now Spence ducks down, thinking that he's closer to Terrence than he really is. There's a foot between them. He basically ducked his head into the danger zone. You see what I'm saying? So like reached, or like at least Crawford extended, but then sucked back, thinking that but he didn't move his feet. So Spence dropped straight down thinking, okay, he's still right in front of me. But so not only does he duck down, Crawford could just sit there and wait. Look.
Right. Spence comes in. Look at Crawford waiting to see what he throws. He doesn't throw anything.
Crawford just staring at him. He's just looking at him like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And this is crazy. Check this out.
So just wait for him to come up. This is simple. Look.
It's like, bruh, you should have reset. If I was him, I would have tried to reset. Just bag it up, because he obviously he had a second to see that he wasn't that close.
No.
Just reset.
No. He was stuck. Because at that point, what are you going to do from there? There's nowhere to go. Think about it. You're crouched down, sitting, and this guy is a foot away from you with all the air in the room in the world. And you're just sitting there stuck. You can't go down because you're at the bottom. You're crouched down already. All you can do is come straight up. The best thing he could have done is stayed low and ducked out low. He could have rolled out right to left, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, that right there is like, you ever see one of those hunting videos where like the coyote like looks straight at the camera and he realizes that he fucked up?
Yeah.
Like coyote looks up, he's like, that was
fucked up, right?
For waiting to see what he throws, he doesn't throw anything. So,
bah! Like, and then look at the form, bro. Rotates his hips. Look.
Spence comes in. Look at Crawford waiting to see what he throws. He doesn't throw anything. So just waits for him to come up. This is simple. Look, Spence
See, he reached.
Kind of lowers his
stuck
level,
back.
anticipating a reaction. Crawford doesn't just throw because I'm like mechanically in this position. He's watching. He's waiting. Waits till he comes up, bang, and then just catches him. Just wait a second.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry, all the Spence fans. I'm sorry. I really am.
They weren't even. They're not in the same category.
I'm sorry. It's like when you really slow it down and look like at what really happened, it was way worse than it really was. And for someone like, because me, like I said, I'm staring. Like I missed an uppercut. That knockdown, that second knockdown. I saw the second punch. I didn't see the first punch. It was so quick. The camera angle, the one that I saw live, it wasn't until they.
I text you. I'm like, yo, his counters are so damn quick you can't even see them. Like I was like, was that a punch? I didn't realize it.
Yo, real talk. I mean, you said you could hear the gulp. Oh, you know you done fucked up, right? Bah! I mean, and this was in round 4.
Most guys will just throw combination and get out of the way. Crawford will stand in danger and then look and see what's happening and then throw.
It's true.
And gets out of the way. And then uppercut because he's looking.
And then threw an uppercut. God, man.
They change angles, uppercut.
Look at the form, bro. Pivot his feet, turns his hips, rotates his shoulders.
Because he's still bent over close. And then pushes off the head. Look at this.
And then pushes his face, and then mutts him on the, what do they call it when you mush? And then mushed him on the way out. Basically, hit him with a hook, hit him with an uppercut, and then mushed him on the way out. Wow.
Before I even knew what happened.
Bruh. That's so dirty. That's so dirty.
Crawford will stand in danger and then look. See what's happening.
This is so
and then
cold.
Throw.
So he popped up,
and gets out.
Gave him a hook and didn't move. He hooked him, bang, and just sat there, waited.
By the way, and then uppercut.
An uppercut.
Because they change angles. Uppercut because he's still.
That was another one where he lifted his body up. Full real time, he was like, bent
over close, and then pushes off the head. Look at this.
And then missed
pushing
with
and
uppercut.
Framing off the head of Errol Spence like that.
And then he missed.
And
Bruh.
Yeah. Not in the same sentence, bro.
Bruh. Like,
not in the same sentence. Not in the same category.
A little later.
Like,
here comes Spence. Crawford goes low and then jabs. Kind of like an up jab, right?
And then look at his feet, right? So real quick, I want you guys to notice how his head and shoulders stay on a particular level. And if you could see at the bottom of the screen, look at his feet shuffle. So he's shuffling and moving his feet in, but look how his upper body doesn't move. It stays on a rail. It stays on a line.
Spence.
Watch this.
Crawford goes low and then jabs. Kind of like an up jab, right?
See,
and then comes over the top. You're like, how did this work? I'll show you how it worked. Crawford lowers his level, up jab, moves in,
shuffles his feet,
retracts halfway, and this hand comes out. Look at Spence. Pay attention to Spence's shoulder. Watch. Drops it. You see that? Watch right there. He's dropping it. He thinks it's coming low because of how Crawford has been changing the timing on the looks and everything, and instead just comes right up top and catches him just like that. Jesus Christ. Sick. Jab, outside angle. Look at that.
Like he hit a brick wall.
Jab, outside angle.
Yeah, his body was moving forward, but his head stopped.
Yeah.
Jab, outside angle.
I told you. His body moving forward, but his head stopped. So it looked like he got, Crawford just held his hand out. He threw a jab, one of them strong piston jabs, and he walked right into that.
Angle.
Bah, almost knocked him off his feet.
Look, Outside angle every time.
And check this out. What happened? He was moving his body. So again, his body's moving forward. His head stopped. Where his head stops, his feet kept going. Look where he set his feet. Okay, he's still in the danger zone. On his back foot. So he's stuck there again. He's stuck in that position. So he shuffled forward to throw the jab. His body kept going. His head stopped. His feet finally stopped. And then when he finally crouched down, he's leaning on the back foot. He has nowhere else to go again. And he's still in Crawford's danger zone.
And then here is
so he gets hit again.
his hand again. Push. The hand doesn't go all the way back, does it? It's still there.
So he's frozen there. He can't move back. He can't move his feet. He's stuck. Like, it's like intentionally like putting like mouse traps all over the damn ring. he's and super glue and shit. It's like
he can just go.
So he's like stuck in these imaginary positions where he's like, why can't I get out of the way? You can't get out of the way because he keeps putting you in these compromised positions where you can't go anywhere. That's why you got to bring your feet with you.
So pop.
And then hit him
That's
again.
not the
just
one
because.
he wants to hurt him with. It's that one he wants to hurt him with. And then
He had nowhere to go. He was stuck.
and when they come up, sort of like a frame, pushes him away. How sick is that?
Hit him with a double jab. The first jab stopped his head. He pumped it, hit him with the second jab, and then came over the top with an overhand left, and then used his forearm to mush him on the way out again. Another 3-punch combo and mushing him on the way out.
Footing and kinetic energy. If you do not watch it, you will get annihilated.
Absolutely. He said the jab parry technique is a straight up kung fu move. You right. You right. You are 100% correct. 100% correct.
All right, here comes Spence. Uppercut because he's changed his levels. Catch and watch it once you pay attention to something. He's got his balance leaned over here. So he has got the right hand on this side kind of covering, and then on the left hand, he's kind of got here when he needs to. He can catch.
Another thing. See where Crawford's head is on his shoulder? Crawford's head is on Spence's shoulder, right? And he's thrown that hook on that side. He's hunkered down on that side. That hand on that side that you're looking at of Spence's is useless. He can't do anything with it. So by stepping in and being there, it's useless. Also, look at the position that he's standing in. He's unorthodox. He's not standing southpaw right now. So he's unorthodox.
Catch and then push away. Oh, by the way, he's in orthodox, and then we'll switch to southpaw.
Ultra combo!
Bruh, it's not even, you know, I'm sorry, Arrow fans, I'm sorry.
It's practice to Crawford.
We're
bro.
talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man.
Just like practice.
Just like practice. My God.
Jab with him. Change angles. Let's see again.
Man, once again, shout out to Luke Thomas. Like I said, you know, thank you. please don't strike this down. Won't be monetized, but I really want, I like, this is the best way I was able to get the because Showtime has a freaking iron clink on the
Yeah, you can't even promote
footage.
you can't even promote on the fights till like months after even if they let you.
Yeah, Showtime's got an iron clink on this stuff. So
And one more time, watch this.
now again, look where Crawford's body is. He doesn't move back. He sits right where he is.
Hand.
Now, Spence's back foot is off the ground.
From Spence. It's the lead hand of the lead hand of Crawford. It's the lead hand of Crawford pushing everything over. So he's got the
It's not the lead hand, it's his backhand, but whatever.
outside angle, pop.
So he parried that punch and punched with the same hand.
Crawford. It's the lead hand of Crawford pushing everything over. So he's got the outside angle, pop. And again, the hand's already there. The hand is here when he wants to throw it. It's not like back here or whatever. I'm sorry, let's say it one more time. By bringing his hand up like this and then rotating it through the defensive cycle for the parry, it's still where it needs to be have a short distance to the target. So he
And once again, look where Errol's body is. Since he reached, he wasn't done. His body wasn't done moving forward by then. He lunged into the danger zone.
The cycle for the, say one more time.
Look, he's lunging in. See how his back foot hasn't hit the ground yet?
His hand up like this and then rotating it through the defensive cycle for the parry, it's still where it needs to be have a short distance to the target. So he catches.
He was a sitting duck. Like he reached and it was too late. He was already like, it was
damn near almost threw himself in. He damn near threw himself into the punch.
Pretty much. That's exactly what happened.
Catches him, tries to get another one, resets positioning here.
Once again, look at the balance though. Look how he steps back to that back foot and then rebounds off the back foot. So he stepped back and fired straight back out again. So he retreats. You think, okay, I got some space. And all he did was coil up and fire back out again.
Pops him again as he comes up off the jab.
And then brings his feet with him. See how he took that second step?
Yeah, Spence, you got to watch the feet, bro.
So he catches him,
boom,
tries to get another one.
He pushes off of him. Steps
resets
back.
Positioning here. Pops him again as he comes up off the jab.
You watch him bring his feet.
Another one. Because now he's got his balance manipulated.
Now again, look at where Spence is. Leaned back on that back foot again with nowhere to go. Nowhere to go.
And leaning. This was all part of the strategy. They got him leaning, and then
he can't go nowhere. And again, Crawford looks like a statue.
Just come down over the top like that with a 1-2, right? This is great. So he outside angle, left hand,
hit him there.
Reset.
He was trying to reach and grab Crawford. Crawford pulls away from him. He was trying to wrap him up. Crawford pulls away.
Angle and balance.
Feet,
pop, because you got the short hand on the inside line there.
Doubles it up.
Now his balance is leaning back. Do it again. Now he's still leaning back. Foot in.
Puts him in that position where he's freaking leaned over again.
In the air, he's not in a position to be moving out of the way properly, and then just come down with the left over the top.
It's round 5, y'all.
Another one jab.
Hold on. Wait, where's it at? Hold on.
Motherfucking ass to sleep. What the fuck he hit me with? He got my hand falling off the box. Okay, let's regroup. I thought we came to box. I didn't come to leave in a box. Don't do that. Stop all that grabbing, big fella. Shit. Take his gloves for tequila. He got me punch drunk. Big fella, this fight you going to jail for child abuse in the class. I need to be factory reset and rebooted. He done knocked all the data out of me. God, help me, God.
Meanwhile, this nigga putting his hands on me.
This behind me. Why ain't nobody tell me I was fighting Martin Lawrence? Big fella, pass.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's never going to get old. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna make an official commercial for that, just so y'all know. There's gonna be a commercial. I'm sorry. I like Errol Spence. I like him, but I ain't seen a booty whooping like this in a while.
Right. Hook. We'll look more.
Remember I was telling you that one where he moves his body? He punches to move him, to manipulate him, not to actually make contact. This is one of those times.
Another one, jab, right? Hook, hook.
So he knew he was already off balance, right?
Another one, jab, right?
See how he's like leaning in? Okay, so Spence thought he was going to be standing there. Bud stepped out of the way, basically did a ole, and not only did he move out of the way, but he punched him sideways to add on to it. So Spence dropped his shoulder and leaned forward thinking that Bud was going to be there as to like bump his body. Bud stepped back and hooked him in the shoulder.
We'll look more at that later. And
that's okay. He did the same thing when he did got one of the knockdowns in the 7th round. So mind you, think about this for a second. So already a thing that Spence likes to do is he likes to duck down and kind of drive his body, his shoulder in. And what he does is he kind of bucks to either clench or go to your body. So he kind of steps in and kind of bumps you up with his shoulder in his forearm. And then he starts to the body. Essentially, Bud was like, nope, not going to stand here for that. I'm going to go ahead and get out of the way.
And then comes up. He'll do this a lot. The hook, hook, foot in the air. He's pushing guys over while their feet are in the air to manipulate their balance and then send them in the direction of that. Now, Spence did a good job in raising his hand, but you get the idea. We'll look more at this a little bit later. Same thing.
Look. Calm as hell. Like a ninja, barely moving his feet.
Just redirects the punch without flinching.
Yeah, without flinching.
Raising his hand, but
look at him.
Same thing, lead hand, outside angle. What do you notice? Look at Crawford.
Steps back.
Sees it coming.
Sits down.
Kind of catches.
And he smothers the punch. So he moved back and then he sat down. So Spence is lunging to get to him, but Bud only goes just far enough to where he sits down and gets, so he knows where Spence is going to finish. He's going to be right inside Spence's danger zone.
Rolls underneath, and I want you to...
So basically, he just stepped right onto the inside of his body now.
Pay attention to his inside wrestling here. Look at him. Shoulder, pushing in, smothering, pinning Spence's own hand to his own shoulder as a consequence, pushing, staying on top. Each one just a little bit, kind of stays tight, right? He's got everything is here. He's not moving big.
Sorry, Luke Thomas. It didn't look like that, but okay.
He's occupying the inside space. He's forcing Spence to go wide. He's over here protecting himself. And when he wants to catch and shoot, he can.
So this is when he was playing with Spence. Was this round 5? This is when he was like playing with his food. He's playing with his food. He's like, I could stand here. I don't really gotta move around. I could just stand here.
And they eventually separate here, just like this. Remember, that's supposed to be the smaller man. Remember that. That look like the smaller man to you? It doesn't look like the smaller man to me. Here comes Spence. Measured with a jab, Crawford does. Outside angle, one more time. Bang. I mean, just look at the timing, folks.
Y'all, come on, man. Come on, man. I need that Boosie. Come on, dog.
Angle, one more time. Bang. I mean, just look at the timing, folks. Outside angle, bang.
See how he stopped his feet? So he's moving backwards.
That look like the smaller man to you?
Look. All right, so he's retreating, right?
It doesn't look like the smaller.
Shuffle feet. Set. Now look, see how he's leaning forward? So he's leaning forward, but his feet are back. So he's essentially, again, at the front edge of where his effective range is on his feet. He's leaning forward. Spence doesn't realize that he's got all that room behind him.
Smaller man to me. Here comes.
Shuffles back. Bud sets a standard, right? So again, Bud shuffles his feet back, throws a stiff jab. Once again, if you look at his feet, he's at the front edge of his effective reach.
Spence measured with a jab, Crawford.
His foot's back.
Crawford does.
He steps back, but he doesn't move that back foot. So Spence lunges into the danger zone.
Outside angle one more time. Bang. I mean, just look at the timing, folks. Outside angle, bang. It's the same hand. One hand is doing the parrying and then catch.
Look what he did with one hand, bro.
Or I should say redirect, shoot. And then just catches him coming in. The right hand stays low to protect himself in case it needs to. So they wanted to use the left hand as a way to like both be defensive and offensive in the same sequence while protecting himself to the body so he wasn't having to make a choice about it. Brilliant. And then he moves away.
And then pushed him away. God damn. What's up, Solo Dilla? How you doing, bro? This was a good one. Solo Dilla, this one might be worth a watch. You know what I'm saying? Watch it fast forward. Same thing. Look. Bud doesn't move his feet. He leans back. Now, again, this could potentially put him in a situation that he's been putting Spence in, but since his feet are closer together, he's able to shuffle or move himself out of that position if he needs to.
Gets caught.
So see, he doesn't move his feet. So Spence jumps in, but
a little bit of an outside angle. They
sets his feet, hunkers down. Anchors himself to the ground.
They clinch up here, and he kind of takes like a check hook step almost.
And misses with that thing. Dog, somebody can be right in front of you, and for you to throw a punch like that and still miss, I swear to God. Look, so instead of moving back, he stays put this time. This is why Spence stayed confused the whole time, because he was like, what is it? Is he standing here or is he moving? Is he moving or is he standing here?
A little bit of an outside angle. They clinch up here, and he kind of takes like a check hook step almost to get out of the way. A little bit later. I hear this is my favorite, right? Pump.
This is the first fake jab he throws. This is the first one. What's up, Red Pill Steven? What's going down? Sodo is going down. Sheridan was going down. Salute to all you guys.
Pump. How does that land? Let's take a look at it from another angle.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So this is the first fake jab he throws. So he's been throwing heavy jabs this whole time. This is the 6th round, but this is the first time he pump fakes or feints a jab. The first time.
A little bit later.
Got a reaction. Now look, see where Spence is? He's automatically leaned back on that back foot. He's almost lifted his front foot off the ground. He has nowhere to go. There's nowhere for him to go. That pump fake had him lean back on that back foot, and he stuck that back foot, lifted his front leg. He can't move.
I hear this is my favorite, right? Pump. How does that land? Let's take a look at it from another angle. Watch. Pump. Oh, excuse me, wrong way. I apologize. I thought I had the slow-mo. Pump, and again, Spence thinks it's going low.
Leans back.
Pump again, and it's too late because by now you're already in close distance. Just fooled him. Just fooled him.
Almost knocked him out with the jab, y'all. He almost knocked him out. He buckled his knees with the jab. Well, he did he did a lightweight stanky leg.
Completely off guard.
Look, he hit him with a stanky leg. Gave him made him do the stanky leg. Hold on.
And it's too late because by now you're already in close distance. Just fooled him. Just fooled him.
Look,
Here we are a little bit later. Jab, long jab this time from Crawford, right? Comes in, but then stays there. Well, now they're in the pocket. All right, let's see what happens. Presents a target here.
Lean forward.
Gets out of the way. He's here. I mean, look at that jab, just touching his nose. Just touching it. And then pop. Same punch as before. It's the outside angle. They're pushing the jab off to this direction, so it can create a lane for the left, and they're doing it while keeping the right hand low and this. So it's move it over, come over, just like that. All the right hand stays here. Right hand stays here. We're gonna parry and then come over, just like that. Parry, bop.
And he doesn't move. Like again, that where he stays between his legs is what Spence was having such a problem with. So it's not only just the counter punching is the second part of it. The first part is getting him to lose track of like where Crawford's effective punching range is. So if he's leaning forward, he shuffles back, his upper body doesn't look like it's moved. You throw a punch thinking you can hit him and he easily moves back, but then you're falling forward. He never moved his feet. So all he has to do is fire right back and you've put yourself in the danger zone.
The timing and the accuracy is like next level. A little bit later.
But Bud looks, it's round 6. Bud looks like he just came out the locker room.
He didn't have a scratch on him.
Didn't have a scratch on him. Looked like he just came out the locker room.
This one goes to the other outside, but then Bud kind of blades his stance a little bit and then just misses. But doesn't matter because this brings his feet closer so he can pop him with the jab. Again, which is his naturally powerful hand, the right hand. And then keeps him pinned. And then a bit of a collar tie. All right, a little bit later. Watch this. Watch Bud.
Okay, this right here is music right here. This right here is music.
And then a bit of a collar tie. All right, a little bit later. Watch this. Watch Bud.
Sink.
Ready? He's going to catch.
Boom.
Catch.
Boom.
Shoot.
Shoot.
Uppercut.
Ooh.
Right? It's this. It's like bop. Everything is on the inside. They're forcing him wide so they can occupy the middle where he keeps his head. That's really what they're doing here. Catch, shoot. Just like that. Round 7, we're getting there. Takes a step back.
Look at his feet. See how he shuffled his feet back?
That. Round 7, we're
okay. Feet are close together, right? Relatively close together. If you had to say, he's shading the weight towards the front foot.
Getting there. Takes a step.
Steps 1 foot back.
Back.
Shuffle.
Oh yeah, one more time. Where's that punch going? Now this time it goes to the other end of the glove, but it's the different hand, but it's the same outside angle. And then you just can't get.
But you see how his upper body didn't move that much, but his legs did? Look where his feet started. His feet started, if we could look at the ring, his back foot is right about here. If you look at the logo on the mat here, his back foot is here, his upper body is here. Got me?
Oh yeah, one more time. Where's that punch going? Now this time it goes to the other end of the glove, but it's the different hand, but it's the same outside angle. And then you just can't get it.
Look where his back foot is. Look where his front foot is. Just that quick, he moved like 5 feet. But his upper body probably only moved 3.
Get anything going.
He was
a little bit later. Jab to the body, catch, shoot. Oof. Same thing. Look, catch, shoot. They're just hoping to get, and they you can see him kind of like trying to push his hand over so they can push the shoulder over it a little bit for that, and then pop him on the other side. And again, remember what happens here, punch, he doesn't take a step this time, but it's the same punch from before where he's still in the southpaw stance. But like, look at the angle. Like Spence is over this way. He's off balanced. Bud's already in motion. So by the time he's able to right his balance, he's just coming up for the right hand. You see that? It's to push him off, knowing he's going to gangster lean to get out of the way, and then anticipating a reaction and then catching him in the process. And by the way, look at the angle. Like, it's hard for Spence to see And also it's able to like come directly through the guard, just like that. Just ridiculous. And then he keeps following up on him like that. Just ridiculous work from
that body shot was crazy
from Bud Crawford. Okay, he's getting framed over. This is what we know from Errol Spence, the king of the replacements, right? Frame and then punch over the top. And it kind of connects a little bit on Bud there. Now here's Bud accepting pressure.
Now, what did I say? He's going to mention this, but again, he gets across, he goes gangster lean. Once you, what happens when he gets up to the ropes? Now look at Bud's feet. They're almost together. This is honestly, this is kind of a boxing rule break, but since he's a ninja, he can do this. But watch what he does, man. This is crazy. This is that uppercut I missed that you were like, oh my God, Gerald.
Yeah.
Right? I'm an MMA fan. I don't know who all is watching this. If you're an MMA fan, you might remember from Israel Adesanya against Alex Pereira in their last fight. He got up to the fence to shorten the distance so the guy would come to him. It's the same thing here. They know if your back's up against the ropes, they know you don't want to be there with Spence. Spence loves that, right? So they know that they have to do something with it. So he
backed himself up to the ropes.
I think that's why I look so
invite
familiar.
Pressure and just watch.
Yep. And he leaned back on the ropes.
One of the best things you'll ever see in combat.
and then fired, like he leaned on the ropes and threw the punch coming off the ropes, guys. He literally bounced off the ropes and threw an uppercut. Look where Errol's feet are. He just walked himself right into the danger zone. Like lunged himself into the danger zone.
Sports. Look at that uppercut. I want you to show it from a different angle. I have it slow motion here. Look at this. Watch. This is what we just saw. Okay. Spence hits.
Like he knew what Spence was going to throw before he threw it.
The ropes. He's going to ricochet forward, which is going to bring power into his punch, by the way. And as he does, he knows that they're going to jab to the body. They're waiting to see. He's got a high guard in case he does come up top. But they know he's going to go to the body when his back is up against the ropes. It's just what he does all the time, right? He doesn't jab and then come up straight and then start working, except when earlier in the fights. But what he wants to do, and he's been doing it, you've been seeing him do it, is kind of lunging with that left hand to the body. They know he's going to try and do it. So, or the jab in this particular case. So they wait, and Crawford does that.
Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to something. Look at the eyes of Bud Crawford.
Let me pause this real quick. Let me pause this, and I want everybody to take a look. I want everybody to see this. Oh, hold on. I want everybody to look at that. Look. Go ahead.
You got knocked
absorb
the
that. I wish that guy
fuck
was. And listen to what Luke Thomas said. Listen.
He has eyes on him the whole time. He doesn't even blink. That is some serial killer shit. That
He said that was some serial killer shit. That's crazy.
is ridiculous. Not that you would expect anything less from him. I just want to point out the details here. Look at him. Bang. Perfect timing, perfect placement, excellent real-time read, just incredible, incredible punching and boxing. He eats one for it, but you get the idea. All right, here we are a little bit later, round 7. This is where he gets knocked.
And he got hit with that and walked through it like it wasn't nothing. It was like he didn't even get hit.
Knocked down. I believe comes with a jab, outside angle, same thing. Now watch this. He doesn't throw anything. Spence tries to then move into him, takes a step, Bud hooks him, which kind of pushes him off balance.
There's that double hook again.
Balance a little bit. And then before he can get his feet set, his foot is in the air when he eats the punch. And it sends him tumbling, just like that.
And I want to show you guys something too. Look, okay. So once again, feet, right? When you're perfectly square, you think about if your feet are in a square, the toe of your front foot and the heel of your back foot are in the corners. Got me? Roughly. So you're roughly square, equidistant, front to back, side to side. Sometimes what happens is if you get your feet too close together, meaning side to side, if somebody pushes you, you could fall backwards. There's nowhere for you to go. If you get your feet bladed, meaning like you're riding a skateboard, both of your feet are in line like this, you can lose your balance side to side. That's why you want to square your feet. Well, Errol clearly has made a mistake here. His feet are almost, he's very bladed. He's like, we call it riding a skateboard. A lot of to be honest with you, this sounds messed up to say, but a lot of like new boxers or new people that I train, when they box, what happens is they start off in the proper position, but the more punches they throw, the more kind of bladed they get. They end up like naturally kind of getting sideways. And so I always have to like adjust, square your feet, square your feet, square your feet, because this is what will happen to you.
Takes a step, Bud hooks him.
See how
which kind of pushes.
See how his feet are like, it's like he's standing on a skateboard or like a snowboard. That's why he fell the way he fell.
Him off balance a little bit. And then before he can get his feet set, his foot is in the air when he eats the punch. And it sends him tumbling, just like that. That's just ridiculous. Manipulating him, moving in, off balancing. He's trying to catch himself, hit him again, and he falls. Ridiculous. Steering him as well into the left hand if they had wanted to, but they didn't really need to in this particular case. Watch this.
And we'll hold on, let's just finish this. We'll be done. We might as well finish this.
Here a little bit later. This is the same thing. So outside angles, what you just saw, outside angle, tries to
look at his eyes, y'all.
Here a little bit later. This is the same thing. So outside angles, what you just saw, outside angle, tries to step in. Bud doesn't greet him. But look, Spence thinks that Bud's about to greet him and they're gonna clinch. He doesn't. He comes over the top. So like you can see, here comes a high elbow from Spence. So Spence thinks that they're gonna lock up. Instead, just Bud steps back a little bit, hooks him to off balance. Spence is trying to catch himself here, and before he can, bang.
He's already dead.
Yeah. You can't really punch or use head movement with that stance either. You're right. No, you really can't. I mean, again, when you're, yeah, this is the worst. It was bad. It was bad.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right,
I think this is a knockout here.
Let's see what happens here.
Or maybe
jab.
not.
Spence gets low. One more time. Jab, hook. This is just nice, right? Jab, hook. Spence doesn't bring his hand back, so he just comes all the way around again. And we're doing.
And again, notice the feet. He brings his feet with him. He throws the jab. When he cocks the jab, he moves his feet in to fire the hook that comes right after.
This. One more time. One more time.
Jab.
One shot. Straight punches.
Jab.
Hooking punches on the second shot. We're going straight hook.
He doesn't reach.
Right? Just constantly kind of keeping him guessing. And then this is my favorite. He misses with the left hand. This is what Errol Spence does. When Errol Spence swings with the left and misses, what does he do? He goes right to the body. Boop. This dude is using Spence's very best weapon.
That body shot was rough too. I don't know if you guys heard it. It sounded like a gunshot on the live video. It sounded like Crawford hit a heavy bag. Like he just hit him with his liver punch that like he just tucked it in there. It sounded like a straight gunshot. Seemed like I said, treated him like a man, like a child. He told him he was gonna take off his belt.
Against him. And pushes him off a little bit later. Lowers his level, jab to the body. Right? Let's see what happens.
How often do you see Spence backing up and like sliding along the ropes?
A little bit later, jab up top, catching him between beats. Look, the punch lands and his
off the
feet
ground
are in the air.
And again, so remember I told you bringing your feet together is a rule that you break? Look, this is the rule. This is why you don't break that rule.
And pushes him off a little bit later.
Right here. So that's why you move right. You right, left. If you don't do that, then you shuffle your feet. But if you're just walking and you cross your feet, this is why you don't cross your feet.
Later.
Literally.
Lowers his level, jab to the body.
Step.
Right. Let's see what happens.
Right.
A little bit later,
there.
jab up top, catching him. But
see how he stepped that foot forward and almost crossed his feet up? That's not.
See what happens.
He was doing it right there, and then that was a bad step right there. Because what it does, it locked him into a position where he couldn't move.
Later, jab up top, catching him between beats. Look, the punch lands and his feet are in the air. Just has no balance under him. A little bit later, let's see what happens. He goes down, comes back up, pops him again, double jabbed. And this time, look, pop, doesn't bring the hand back all the way, pops again, and then tries to crush him with the left hand. This is.
And now look. Crawford stuffed his work, right? Watch how he shuffles back to get himself back into range again. Watch Crawford's feet.
My favorite, misses with the left.
Now watch him shuffle back.
Frames off the top of the head. There's the glove right on the top of the head of Errol Spence.
That's a
Resets,
shuffle back.
hooks, and then hooks again, sending him the other way. This is what I mean. The guy can't catch his balance. He hooks him, so it forces him over. He tries to catch him.
So when he leaned in, he was expecting Crawford to be there. He shuffled and moved his feet back.
See that?
Created space.
And gets hooked again. He can barely stand up. He nearly gets toppled again. All right, last round. This one's pretty academic at this point. So he
This is cold-blooded right here. This is the last one. This is cold.
Tries to go, let's see. Spence goes jab.
Once again, see how Crawford doesn't move? He leans back. His feet are closer together. He could move if he needs to.
Jab, overhand left.
He sits
What do you
down.
notice? Crawford, it's that same left hand protecting himself, right? Catches a little bit. And then this is my favorite part about it. He can keep it up and it's still here, where if he needs to elbow block or if he needs to catch or uppercut, it's all still available.
And look at how Spence is leaning on him. He's over the front foot. Look where his front foot is in relation to where his head is. And his back foot isn't on the ground. So all of his weight is on the front foot leaning on Crawford. So if Crawford moves,
everything nice and tight on the inside, right?
It goes
Look at that. So again, one more time, watch. Left hand is now up here. But when Spence gets close, he keeps his level low and now keeps it where, yeah, it's pinned to him, but he's defensively protecting himself. Now Spence is just running him back, is throwing.
This is the last one, but look at Bud's posture right here. This is some like Neo in the Matrix stuff right here. Watch this.
What do you notice from Spence? Orthodox. Oh, okay. So he's going to throw to.
Look how he stepped out of the way.
Little moonwalk way.
Orthodox. Oh, okay.
He's like,
he's going to throw.
Nope.
To get himself into position, and look at Bud Crawford.
But look how, so he leans back like this, right? Look where his hand is. He's still covered up, right? He's still protecting himself. He's watching this punch go. Spence is standing super tall, so his legs are straight right now. There's nowhere for him to go because he's at the top now, right? That's the thing. Like now you're standing straight up. You're reaching. You have nowhere to go.
With his huge.
Now, Bud, that back foot, he plants it. He shifts his hips back, but he doesn't move that back foot back anymore, meaning that he stays his body, his trunk is going to stay right there.
Huge ass lean, but he's balanced. His weight is still here under him, right? He still got it. So what happens is Spence is going to use this to change stances. So now Spence is orthodox, but Bud is in a much better position.
So all he did was stood up. So Spence falls in the danger zone.
Head out again.
Now, because before, look, inside foot position off opposite stance, keeps it, recenters his base, and then just changes angles. So as Spence is kind of barreling forward, Crawford's just going to turn around on him. Just like this. Gets out of the way, recenters, comes back this way.
Moves his feet.
And what do you think
watch
he's gonna
this.
do for it? Pop. Just like that. How nice is that? High guard. This is probably the end right here.
Dog, this is the most gangster thing I've ever seen. This right here is probably one of the most gangster things I've ever seen. Right here.
Catch, shoot. It works. Jab, over the top, push him down. Short punch. Watch this right hook from Crawford. Look at this right hook.
Look how close he is, right? Look how close they are.
From Crawford. Just this. Just this. It's not this. It's not some long range hook. Just a nice short hook.
Turns his shoulders,
Pops
rotate,
him.
bang.
And the end is near. And that, ladies and gentlemen, just about does it. Right hook, left hand, and then the ref mercifully intervenes. Folks.
I mean, shout out to Luke.
Not in the same
Thomas.
category, man. That was a bludgeoning beyond proportion.
Ultra Combo! Supreme victory!
Agreed. And you know what? Let's go on ahead one more time before we get out of here.
Until the past visitation hours, get your motherfucking ass to sleep. What the fuck he hit me with? He got my hand falling off the box. Okay, let's regroup. I thought we came to box. I didn't come to leave in a box. Don't do that. Stop all that grabbing, big fella. Shit, ref check his glove for tequila. He got me punch drunk. Big fella, after this fight, you going to jail for child abuse and neglect. I need to be factory reset and rebooted. He done knocked all the data out of me. Help me now.
Meanwhile, this nigga putting his hands on me.
That's beyond me. Why ain't nobody tell me I was fighting Martin Lawrence? Big fella, pass this.
Look,
I'm a